Alrighty, traders. Hello, everybody. Hello. Alrighty, so today's session, guys, I want to give you some things that I'm focusing on for next year, what I see coming for next year. And I want to also guide you down a story that I just actually learned from one of my past coaching clients. And I told him not to do something, and he had this huge swing. He made I think it was close to $400,000, but then lost it within a very short period of time as well too. So, I want to walk you down that path there, and just some things that I'm focusing on right now as well too, within these markets from here. So let me bring this market up here. Let me bring up the charts now. Man, what's going on with silver? Silver's really starting to have a pretty significant drop in the last 15 minutes or so. Silver's having a drop because it's a bit of a gold thing as well too. I want to share something that I'm noticing with gold that could be forming a bit of a short-term top at a gold. So I'm going to want to share that with you as well too. And even looking at this, silver's actually dropping. Oh wow, even gold as well too. Gold completely failed. Oh wow, it did too. Gold completely failed at that level there. So let me do this here. So for starters, guys, here is the typical disclaimer. Don't do anything. Don't trade based off what I say in this video, guys. And just remember, guys, from not a disclaimer point of view, but from just a smart point of view, the difference is between my trading now than it was when I first started 20 years ago is every time I go into the markets now, I'm always thinking about, if I am wrong, what am I risking here? One of the things that I started doing when I first started trading 20 years ago, I was always focusing on the profit. What can I make? It just wasn't. I was always looking at it the wrong way from there. So now what helps me with my trading is when I'm getting into a position, I'm always thinking about what's the risk here and what am I risking? I think that's one of the really big things that stops most traders when they're trading the markets is they always think about what they can make, but they totally ignore what they actually could lose. And that causes the swings in the markets there. Now, I want to read something to you guys first. And I want to read something. So this book here, this book here, I want to read you a bit of a chapter of that book. And this one right here. So this is the book I'm giving away for free at johnsfreegift.com. To it. And this is the book here. Off with this session here. So this is the book here, How to Create a Trading Psychology that gives you missing X factor and unstoppable winning edge. And you can see this here, chapter number 1, Art of Exit. Chapter number 2, The Wisdom of the Greed, Reading the Tape, Discipline over Hope, Patience versus Hesitation, The Quiet Death of Trends, Controlling the Cycle of a Trade, Technology versus Timeless Psychology, which is just awesome there. And the last one, The Art of Stopping here. So again, guys, you can get free access to this book. This is the book here. But I want to read something to you. This is the book that I put together. And as you can see here, I'm just going to start off by, you can see inside How to Create a Fearless Trading Psychology, you discover the mental frameworks and psychological shifts that gives elite traders the missing X factor, the invisible edge that separates persistent winners from emotional gamblers. This isn't another strategy book on entries and exits. It's about mastering the mind that controls them. You'll learn how to control without fear, how to silence greed before sabotaging success, and how to build an unstoppable shaken confidence of a professional trader who acts with clarity and under pressure. By the end, you won't just understand the market better, you understand yourself. And that's where unstoppable performance begins. Author's note: over the last 20 years, I've studied, tested, and traded more systems, methods, and market strategies that I can count. From short-term swing setups to long-term trend models, from mechanical systems to purely directional trading. I've seen what works, what fails, and more importantly, why most traders never bridge the invisible gap between knowledge and consistency. What separates the 1% and the rare 0.1% end up going making millions? It's never the indicator or the entry signal. It's their it's their thinking, the ability to detach from fear and act under discipline, under pressure, to align their mindset and market truth here. This book is built on timeless lessons that the greatest legends like Jesse Livermore, W.D. Gann, Paul Tudor Jones, and other wisdom trends. I'm just looking at this here. I've spent decades integrating their principles and what follows in the psychology frameworks. My hope is as you read this here, etc., etc. So I want to. You got the art of the exit here. And you've also got the whispers of the greed here. And this whisper of the greed is such a big thing here. So human nature repeats. Greed always whispers just a little more. It's the old voice in the market, soft enough to sound harmless, convincing enough to destroy fortunes. I've heard it in every bull run, in every parabolic climb. What's happening with silver right now and gold, and where traders mistake momentum for immorality. It begins with confidence. It turns to the conviction and finally becomes a session. You tell yourself you'll sell after the next rally, after the next spike, after one more confirmation. But the market doesn't honor your desire. It only mirrors your weakness. The moment you start believing you're owed more, that's when the market begins to take it back. And I can feel that here right now, actually, with silver. What happened with silver recently? It's like just a little bit more, just a little bit more, and then bam. Right? Especially those who are leveraged. Yeah. They chase the same illusion every generation, right? This is, and the thinking that this time, thinking this is a different, that technology, news, algorithm have changed the game, but nothing changes because human nature doesn't evolve with innovation. The same fear that froze traders a century ago still freezes them now. And the same greed that drives them to ruins still beats in modern hearts. The ticker may look different. The charts more complex, but the psychology remains identical. That's why history keeps repeating itself in the markets. Every bubble is born from the same emotions. Every crash from the same denial. I've seen traders ignore their own targets, their own rules, because greed told them the move wasn't over. And this is such a big thing for you guys, right? It's like, oh, you got out too early, you missed the thing. It's like this whole thing about, especially the last probably the last 6 months, I've talked about my trading. It's like, I told you got out too early. It's like bulls and bears make money and pigs get slaughtered, right? They've watched profits turn to dust and they blame the market, but the market didn't betray them. Their own mind did. The professional trader knows that the whisper of just a little more is the sound of the top. It's the same whisper that destroys kings and humbles geniuses. When you start thinking in terms of a little more, silver, you've already stepped away from the discipline into danger. You've lost objectivity, and the market punishes that loss without mercy. To conquer greed, you must learn. Let me see if I can zoom in here for you guys. To conquer greed, you must learn to leave before the crowd does. Oh, there's still more. I know there's still more. You must be willing to take enough, not everything. For you guys that are jumping on big bull markets and silver and gold and the crypto and all these things that have big parabolic moves, you must be content to walk away while others are still cheering. Oh, I'm laughing because it's just like, yeah, that's the paradox of trading. The greatest profits come to those who know when to stop wanting more. Every successful exit requires the strength to silence the whisper, to trade against their own impulses. The market's greatest enemy is not volatility. It's the trader's inability to control his desires. The art of trading is not about predicting price. It's about predicting yourself. When greed whispers, you listen not to obey, but to recognize the signal of danger. Greed, right? I'm going to make so much money. I'm going to, woo! That whisper has ended more careers than crashes could. It tells you to hold longer, to double down, to define logic for emotion. And every time it ends the same way, with lessons paid in losses. The ones who last in the business are not those who want the most, but those who know when enough is victory. And so again, guys, you can this book is, it's like this is like, just I wanted to read this here because I find this is one of the biggest things that have stopped a lot of traders this year in their trading. And then there's just so much good and stuff here, guys. So if you really want to learn this side of things, if you're not just after a strategy or something like that, but you know there's a lot more to it, then this is the book here for you guys. Again, that's that johnsfreegift.com. I'm giving, this is the book here for free. You can go get access to it. Hey John, finally made a live chat. Hey Tom, listening to your vids helped me make 15K in 2025 on silver and gold. I'll probably apply for your personal trading 2026. Oh, awesome, man. Awesome. It's actually closed right now, Tom. I'm not sure if you know that, but it's actually you're talking about my 1% club that I got. It's actually closed right now. But if you're on my list, just make sure you're on my list, because when I do open it up again for people to apply for it, then I'll email my list about it. But yeah, I appreciate that, mate. And I just hope that some of the things that I've talked about here today, helped you, Tom. The whole thing is, Tom, is with that, just make sure that the whole thing is try to learn the stuff that I've taught you that you can just keep using again and again and again. You know what I mean? John, how many times have you called the top in gold and silver, John? Well, John, you do know there's a difference between a major top and a short-term top, right? A short-term top is, okay, we've had enough move here. We're probably going to have a correction for a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months, and then a continuation. You do realize that, right? I'm pretty sure you do realize it. So when I say there could be a top here soon, I could be relating to, okay, we're getting ready for a bit of a correction here. And then a 10% or so correction comes with that, and then it pauses, and then away you go from there. So and the purpose of me saying that, Mr. John Jeremy ZYB, he's probably AI, is my job as a coach is to stop traders from buying and getting in on leverage and loading up at the wrong time in a particular big bull market. So sometimes I'm saying, hey, it's the wrong time to be looking at that. So let me go to, so this is actually gold here. Now, one thing I was talking about with gold, I was talking about this yesterday. Let me go to, and then silver here as well. Silver starting to, what's that through there? Big move on the downside. Wow. Some really nice setups here. Okay, so let me go to let's go to this one here. Okay, so right now we are still, this is actually a very, 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 very positive sign on the S&P 500. We're just holding here. You see this on the daily chart? See how we're just holding here? We've made a new high, but now we're just holding here. So this is a setup here from what I'm seeing here on the S&P is what I've talked about a few times here in the past is whenever we get these nice patterns here. So I'll bring up the daily chart here. Whenever you get these nice patterns like this here, then typically you'll probably get a nice move off that level from there. Yeah, so it's all still in play though. It's all still in play. Now, that level there. Yeah, Nasdaq is still just holding here nicely. From there. Let me go to, I'm going to bring up my TC2000 platform now. And let me show you a few things here. So gold, look what's happened here with gold. I talked about this yesterday with gold. Actually, I talked about this yesterday with you guys. Let me just bring on this chart here and I'll bring on the actual gold chart. All right, I talked about this yesterday. Look what's happened here. So it actually broke below this support level here. You can see what actually happened today. It actually rallied up today, rejected it, and come back down through there. Is that? Yeah, it is there. Yeah, so you can see here, right, and you see how the market's it's actually fouling here with gold. So I wouldn't be too surprised if we started seeing gold come back down towards the 4,000 level now. I definitely wouldn't be shorting gold. We're in a very big bull market. No way. But you can see how it's actually, it broke above the highs and then failed, and now actually broken back down. From a short-term analysis perspective as well too. Let me bring on, yeah, just my black bars. And let's go to somewhere through there. Okay. So that's interesting right there. That's where it's actually stopped. Okay, that makes sense now. That makes sense. It's like what wins out here? if we do break below this support level here, gold is probably going to start to make its way down to this level here. But if we don't, if we actually hold here and we recoup this down bar here, and we get back up to sort of 4,500, then we're probably going to make a move up to around 5,000 there. Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised if silver now also, just looking at the different, again, you see we go through these cycles, right? You guys have heard me talk about the energy cycles in these markets. You go through energy building, energy using, energy building, energy using. So we've now had a big move up. I wouldn't be too surprised if we just had a little bit of an energy building phase. Now, typically that comes in line with moving averages. So typically what happens when we get too far away from the moving average, we've done too much energy, right? We've used too much energy. And this is when, like, sometimes, like when I'm calling sometimes a short-term top, I'll be like, okay, we could be getting a pullback here, and we do get a pullback from here. There's a difference between a major top and a short-term top. So and then how you know you've done too much, what's called price under WD again, or too much of a move, and where it's very dangerous to go long the market, is when we're too far away from the moving averages. If you look at this here, right, the worst time to be going long on any this charter here in a very big bull market was when we got too far away from the moving average. We need to wait for the retracement first and then look to buy. Get too far away from the moving average, it's a bad time to buy, because there's a massive probability we're going to start to have a bit of a pullback. Moving average is probably going to start to come together from there. So yes, the trend is your friend until the end, but we need to wait for, if we get too far away from it, then that's the worst time to buy, because we're likely to get a bit of a correction. And the amateurs of these markets who don't understand the context of that, they don't understand, like, they wait for this market to go up and up and up and up, and then they start to buy it after it's been going up for quite some time. But they don't understand that the way the markets work is you go through these different phases, right? You go through price phase, time phase, price phase, time phase. And this is where, to look at the best probability of me having a successful trade would not be buying silver up here. Why? One simple rule. If you're looking for a really good time to buy something, even in a very big bull market, the worst time to buy it is when it's too far away from the moving average, because you know that when it gets too far away from the moving average, you don't know exactly when this top's going to be in before it starts to come back together. But you know that eventually it's going to come back to that level from there. All right. Look at gold as well too. Right. It's all the same thing. This is gold here. And you can even see this really clearly on the weekly chart. But if you just see this here from gold perspective, this is the 52 moving average on the charts. And as you can see here, right, and everything's based on probabilities, right, guys? There's no certainties in the markets, but everything's based on probabilities. But if I know there's a huge probability of, when we get too far away from the moving average, that's now danger zone of it's getting too extended and needs to come back a little bit, then you know, just by doing that one thing alone, it's going to stop you from getting into bad trades. If you want to get in on a very big bull market, at least wait for it to get back towards, I always call it the sweet spot, or price and time being equal, or enough energy being built. And that is when the market pulls back towards the moving average. We get to the moving average. Now we're getting ready to go again. So whenever I'm looking for trades, my best type of trades is in a very strong upward environment with the 52. In fact, I'll show you some screenshots here of trades so you can actually see what I'm looking at here. So whenever we get too far away from the moving average, yeah. It's just for the top. top mate. No, it's just because I just wanted to go live for the last few days. But going back into the new year, I'm going back to the live sessions will be for my 1% club group. So I'm just doing the live sessions now. But going back into next year, I won't be doing lives again. Or maybe every now and then, but I won't be consistent like I'm doing now. This is like a little bit of a gift for people. Then I'll just go back to doing the shorter term videos. But you must miss us. I'm just trying to help you guys. So I'm gonna show you here of what I mean here. So the perfect scenario for me is the perfect scenario. Again, there's a thing called price and time. Okay, and let me go to here. So it's called. There's different trade setups that I use, but under the umbrella, let me show you this here. So this level 2 and I'm trying to show, okay, 52 moving average trades. Okay. So whenever I'm the perfect setups for me, guys, or what I call the foundations of a really good setup for me is, right, these are screenshots of trades. Okay. Now, the first thing I do say is this is in the past, I've talked to you guys about the energy building phase within a strong upward trend, right? So here's screenshots here, okay? Here's screenshots of all different trades that have taken and happened and so on and so forth, okay? I call them 52 MA trades because this is my bread and butter trades. These are my bread and butter trades. Remember, people trying to guess, they're never going to get ahead long term. The reason why I'm successful and the reason why my coaching clients, most of them, I say most of them, some of them don't listen, is because I don't guess, right? I have a simple system that works and I just look for these trades, right? So here is what I'm talking about here, right? If I know these phases the market goes through these different phases, right? They go through price, they go through time, they go through time, which means energy using energy building phase. And if I'll show you some screenshots here to talk about what I just said there. Once you understand there's different phases, right? Every video is the top is in gold and silver. Not really. We are just getting the bearings warmed up. 10K reps coming. You may be right. But my thing for you, baby bulk, is this. Let's just say you're right over the next 12 months and you are long, sounds like you're long and that happens and you make a lot of money. You are a legend. Now, that system that you just used to make that lot of money, now go repeat that for the rest of your life into 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and you're going to be an absolute legend and you're going to make a lot of money from trading. The big issue is that I guarantee you there is actually no system you're using right now. So after 12 months, and if say the next 1 to 2 years that actually happens, beautiful. Now what are you going to do? You're going to try to come up with another idea. There's no solid foundation of you actually making that money and having a high probability of having a successful long-term trading career. It's just a big guess. That's the big issue. So I'll show you this here. So come on, John told gold, silver a year ago. Well, no one noticed. Actually, Top, are you talking about, like, I was really, really, really big on gold as we're breaking out at the start of, was it start of 2024? Is that what you're talking about? When it did nothing for 3 years and no one was talking about it? I was really heavily into gold then. Now I'm like, yeah. So let me just show you this here. I want to show you this here. I've got a screenshot here to represent what I'm talking about here when it comes to the phases in these markets. So you understand this here, right? I hope I didn't delete it. just there. Okay, cool. All right, here. So here we go here, right? Here's a downward trend here. And once you understand these phases, you will understand when the best time to be looking for a trade, right? A price phase is when the market's moving strong. But then after the market moves strong for quite some time, eventually there's going to come a period of time when the market's going to pause and it's going to go through one of these sideways phases. And this is where most people that think we're going to go to the, gold's just going to go straight up to 10,000. It doesn't happen, right? It's if gold's going to go to 10,000, it's going to go up to 5,000 and then have a couple month pullback and then maybe up to 6 or 7 or 8,000 and then this sort of stuff here, right? And then we go through one of these phases through here, right? These what's called energy building phases, the time phases. And after this time phase, yes, we have a big strong trend through here, right? Big strong downtrend. But then after that phase, guess what? Then we have another trending phase, which is a price phase. So I'm always waiting for these time phases. I call them the energy building phases because they're building energy to go for the next move. And then we go through another time phase, right? And then we go for another move down and so on and so forth. So I'm always waiting for that type of, it's important. Remember, the success in trading is about having something you can repeat for the rest of your life, not just guessing. And that's where most traders are at right now. The reason why I do so well now, after all this time, is because I just don't guess. I use these principles to help me do really, really well. And so I call it the L-shaped trading pattern. So I'll just show you this here, right? So I'll call it the L-shaped trading pattern. What I mean by that is this, okay? Is you can see where I've actually highlighted this little section through here. And for me, the L-shaped trading pattern is this, is that whenever we have a strong moving average, which is the 52, see how it's strong, but then we have one of these energy building phases. See how the 52 is coming up strong. We have an energy building phase going sideways through here. It's just going sideways, and the 52 is coming up. I call it the L-shaped trading pattern because it's like an up and sideways. This is the highest probability trading setup on the planet. And I say that with that 100% confidence. Because whenever I get this here, right? Whenever I get that there, strong move up, sideways into a strong moving average, there's a huge probability that we're going to break and go for another move up. This here is called a good, high quality, high probability trading setup. And that's what's so amazing about it when it comes down to the L-shaped trading pattern there, right? But even if you're looking at this chart here, one of the best rules that I can teach you is this. Forget all this other crap out there, right? Just look at this chart. Whatever chart this is, it doesn't matter. Look at the 52. The blue line is a 52 moving average. Look what happens. The worst time to buy or short something is when we're too far away from it. Because look what happens. Look at this chart. We only get certain distance away before it gets what? We pull back to it, pull back to it, pull back to it, pull back to it, pull back to it. So for me, the worst time to buy something is when we're getting just a little bit too far away from it. We don't know when that correction is going to happen, so we don't want to short it, but it's going to stop us from getting into bad trades. Woo! It's going to stop us from getting into bad trades. So what I like to do is, yes, I like to trade with the trend, but I like to wait for it to come back towards the moving averages through here, through here, through here, and then I'm looking for the next trade. And what this does is when it gets too far away, from the moving average, we've done too much of that movement. And then if I go back to Here we go, 52 M&A trades, right? So I'm simply looking for, and this is a really it's really, really simple, but it's hard to there's not a lot of these trades, but there's a high probability of these trades, right? This was this year, 2025. What is this? Strong moving average, nice little sideways pattern, and then a nice move up from here, right? It's all the same thing. So one of the reasons why my trading is successful now is because 90% of my trades are the same thing, and then the other 10% some other things like a TMF trade, so on and so forth. But look at this here. Sideways, strong moving average. This one had a big move, right? Look at this here. Look at the moving average here. The moving average was flat. This blue moving average here was flat. When you have a flat moving average, that means there's no trend. That means if you did try to trade this point right now, you are guessing. You're having a big fat guess. I, myself, like to wait for the moving average to start to trend up like it does here. Give me that nice little sideways energy building phase, and then away we go. This is the point to try to look for a trade, not down the bottom here. This is Groupon. This is actually a trade that I took this year. All the same thing, right, guys? Look at this here. Strong 52, sideways to the 52, and then we had a nice move up here. This is called a good trading, a good high quality, high probability trade. Rinse, recycle, repeat. I made 300% return on this one here, on my option trade on this one. So while the thing is for me, guys, is I'm looking for these high, I know this is a high quality, high powerful trading setup. Very simple. Notice there's nothing on this chart here with indicators. It's just one simple trading pattern here. What is it? Keep it really simple. When we have a nice trending strong 52 and we have this sideways pattern here, when we do get the breakout, there's a high probability we're going to go for a nice move. Here's another one here. Here's all different 52 examples, both bullish and bearish. Now, what am I looking for? Keep it really simple. If the moving average is trending up and we get a sideways pattern, there's a high probability we're going to go for another move to the upside. If the moving average is trending down and we have a sideways pattern, there's a high probability we're going to have another move to the downside. That's called high probability trading setup. Look at this here. Look at this here. Bullish example. What is it? Moving average coming up, sideways pattern, we have a move up. What I'm all about is teaching people something that works most of the time. Now, yes, this doesn't work 100% of the time. Nothing does. But you want a high probability trading setup that you can rely on for the rest of your life, not just guess. This is my foundations. And then I go to another level where I have things called level 2 trades and then channel trades and stuff like that. Right. And I won't get into those because they're more those level 2 and channel trades that I have that I teach. They're more like, how do you get on something that's not going to make a really big move? But this here's my bread and butter here. I'm just teaching you guys. Look at this here. What's this here? Moving average coming down. We had this sideways pattern. When we broke, we had a nice move down. Now, no, you're not going to capture all this move here on the downside. You're not going to capture all this move on the upside. But maybe you caught maybe 60, 70% of it. I'm after high probability trading setups that most of the time when I get into it, I know I'm going to make a profit. And then I use my trade management skills to manage the trade to let me know when I should be out and so on and so forth. Here's another example here. There's all different trades. It's all the same thing. Strong moving average coming up through here. We have this sideways pattern because this is the sideways pattern here for a couple of months, the daily chart. And because we have the sideways pattern and the moving average coming up, there's a high probability we're going to at least have another move to the upside. And within this here becomes a really high quality trading setup. Trading is all about active, right? Getting in, holding it for a couple of weeks, maybe for a couple of months, especially me, right? Same thing from here. Same thing here. Look at this here. Look at this here. Moving average coming down. We had this sideways pattern. We had a break and we had a move down. Coming up through here, sideways. So for me, it's simple. If the moving average is trending up and we get a sideways pattern, we're probably going to have another move to the upside. That's all I care about. If the moving average is trending down, here's some more examples here for you. I could show you so many examples because I've been trading this thing for so long now. This is where the difference between most people out there who don't do really well out of trading and say that the 1% out there is most of you guys are guessing. You have a big guess. There's a bit of there's a hope and there's no foundation to your success here. But the reason why my trading has been so successful and the reason why my coaching program is so successful, because I just continue to rely on the systems and the patterns that work. And my job is to keep looking for those and be patient and not take bullshit. If I can do that, I'm going to have a good year next year, just like I did this year and just like I did last year. And I always say probably 80 to 90% of the time I'm sticking to setups like this, plus my other setups that I use, which is level 2 and channel trades. And I always say that and then probably I'd say 10, maybe 20% of my trades are things like, for example, like TMF, where I see things kicking into play and so on and so forth. Interesting applying the 52 on the weekly chart. No, don't do that, man. Don't do that. I think 52 on the weekly chart. I always like to use 52 on the daily charts. You could use 52 on the weekly charts. But 52 daily charts. So again, all I'm looking for, and again, I'm showing you so many examples here. This example up here, what is this? 52 moving averages coming down strongly. Cool. We had this sideways pullback to the moving average. Then we had another move down here. Not a big move, but a high probability of making a profit. This one here, what is this one? Moving average is trending up. We had this sideways. So this is my foundation, and I don't get in on the foundation. I still need my trigger point, right? I still need this breakout to tell me we're going to go for another move. I still need the breakout. This one here, look at this one here. Really simple. Moving average has been coming down, 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 down. Look at it all through here being coming down. We had this sideways pattern through here. Then we get the breakout, and then we have another high probability move down. This one here as well too. This one here as well too. So it's all the same thing. This just keeps working. And yes, I do have my losses, right? But this is the foundation of why I've done so well out of trading, because I don't make something up. I know most of the time I'm going to make a profit of this. And then it's just up to me to have a trade management. Look at this here. Strong moving average coming up. Cool. Hey, easy. Where we go? Look at this here. This one right here. What is this one? Oh, the moving average is coming straight up, right? Okay, cool. Check. Second thing, we've got a sideways pattern. And if this is the daily chart, that's probably a couple of months of sideways pattern through there. Strong moving average? Yes. Sideways? Yes. And then we get the breakout, and then there's a high probability of having a move for you. Some of them are big moves, some of them are not big moves. This is where trade selection is first, trade management is second. How do you manage the trade to try to maximize as much profit as possible in there? Here's just some examples here, right? Bearish example here. So bullish, bearish, it doesn't matter. What is it? Real simple, guys. You guys are overcomplicating this crap. Don't do it. I'm trying to show you so many examples here. Strong 52 moving average. Look at your daily charts. Put a 52 moving average on there. And what I'm looking for, it doesn't matter what market out there, guess what? I'm looking for the moving average coming up. And then I'm looking for a sideways pattern. Why do you think I made a lot of money on Ethereum recently? Do you want to know what Ethereum looked like when I made a lot of money on Ethereum this recently? Why did I trade Ethereum this year? Let me show you here. It's all the same thing, guys. It's all the same thing. You guys that are making stuff up. This is the reason why, guys, you struggle to have a long-term trading career in your trading because you look at this here. What is this? Sideways. Sideways to what? Look at the 52 coming up through there. So what did I do? When we broke out, when we broke out, I knew there's a high probability we're going to go for a nice move. So I did. And I actually, made a lot of money on this trade. So what I'm giving you guys here is the foundations to why my trading is so successful and why my coaching clients are so successful. Most of them, not all of them. The ones that listen to me anyway. Right? Because I don't make it up. I'm not making something up. People that are trying to guess, wow, the gold's gone to 10,000 because of the debt bubble. And stop that bullshit. I'm about to teach you something you can use 10, 20, 30 years from now. Not something you can, let's just have a guess because the debt bubble is going to explode, so I'm going to trade gold. It's like, you may be right, but you can't rely on that. You want to have a really good, successful trading career for the rest of your life and not be part of the 95%? Rely on foundations that work. So what I'm teaching you here is the foundations. And then obviously within I have a coaching program that's closed right now. I'm not promoting it, but within my coaching program, I give my coaching clients an actual checklist. So not only the setup, but I teach them where to put the stop loss, where to get in, how to manage the trade to maximize the profit, and so on and so forth. And just give me a sec, guys. Just give me a sec. All right, I'm back now, guys. I spilled my coffee everywhere. Stay on my desk. I'm telling you right now, traders, and this is one of the biggest things out there that stops traders from getting ahead long term, and why day trading, intraday trading, is the worst form of trading out there. Because you don't need it. So right now, let's do this here, right? Look at this here. And this is why I love options. So let's just say you traded something like this here, right? And you wanted to start to make 6 figures a year. Let's just say, for example. Then what does that really look like? Do you really have to sit in front of the screen, do intraday day trading, try to take 20 trades a month to make that? Let me show you this here. Let me show you something that's really going to start. And this is where everything starts to come together, okay? Promise you guys. So let me go to this point here. Let me show you this here. See, once I started to understand, one, a high quality, powerful trading setup that has a high probability of making a nice move. And then when you overlay things like options, you can pick up a 50%, 100% or more just on these trades most of the time. I'm like, now here's where it gets really cool, right? Powerful trading setup. Right? Powerful trading setup. Here's the thing though. For you guys that are intraday trading thinking, I need to take a lot of trades every month to make a lot of money. Let me show you something here. This formula is really going to rock it out with your socks out. Where is it? Here. check this out. Now, what this is a template. It gives you a proper mind frame. I just gave you a high quality trading setup. Now, obviously, yes, there's a finer details to like, okay, what exactly are we looking for the entry signal off the trading setup, where to put your stop, how to maximize the profit, and so on and so forth, right? There's a lot of details, but I'm giving you the meat and potatoes here. But I'm trying to show you why most people don't do a lot of trading. Now, this here is what? Now, I'm not saying you're going to do this here, right? Remember, this is a template here. No, you're not going to. This is 7 trades of 6 figures. No, this is not. This is like saying you had a $10,000 trading account and you started trading $1,000 on, you say, utilizing things like options, but utilizing a simple trading setup like this, right? Simple trading setup like this. I'm trying to show you that you can actually do really well through your trading career, have a really good year by only looking at the daily charts for an hour or so per day, getting into trades and holding them for a couple of weeks. Instead of you thinking, I need to have 10 trades this month. Because you know what happens there. I spoke to someone just recently and he made probably close to $400,000. And then because he was day trading, he lost all the $400,000. Anyway. So what I'm trying to teach you here is one of the reasons why my trading is so successful and it gives me freedom is this. One, I'm using high quality, high powerful trading setups. I know I don't need to take 50 of those trades this year for me to have a good year because I'm utilizing a template here. What is this template? The template is this, is that if you could just find 7 of those really high quality trades this year and they end up doing a double. A double is like 100% return. Most of my trades this year, every single one of my trades this year, apart from one, did over 100% return, 250% return, right? Now, remember what I said before, right? Like these doubles here. If I use things like that setup there, but if I go back to, let me show you this here. So it's easier said than done, but it gives you the right mind frame about what to actually look for, right? So if I show you, I want to go back to this one here, right? This here was a Groupon trade that I took this year. Exactly what I talked about here. This one here, remember I said before, I'm looking for a double basically. This one here did 300% return. Right? This one here did 300%. So remember I said before, like I'm looking for a double basically, looking for a double. This one here did 300% return. So remember, it's all about having this is all about a template here. And to stop you guys from over trading, because we over trade because we think we need to be trading all the time. And this is the thing that's killing your chances. So look at this here. I just showed you a trade with the system there that did 300% return on my option trade here. What this here is talking about a double. It's just 100% return. 1 and the 2, 2 and the 4, so on and so forth. Now, no, you're not going to be doing this every single trade, right? Yes, you're going to have some losses in there. But this gives you a template to show you that what's stopping you from doing at least 6 figures in a year is you. Intraday trading, short-term trading, confusing the hell out of yourself, using all this, making up guessing trades, all this sort of crap. Where if I said maybe 15 trades, if you took 15 really good trades next year, that meant a really rock solid plan, then that means within that 15 trades, you're going to have some losses. Not every trade's going to be a double. Some of them are going to be much bigger profits. And away and away and away you go again. This is why I do what I do and why I title with this live stream, Stop Day Trading, because it's killing you. You don't need to day trade, meaning intraday trade. This fascination, right? This idea of I've got to look at the smaller time frame charts because I need all these trades. I need a lot of trades because I'm trying to make money right now. And then what happens every year? You make no money. You end up losing all the money. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're honest with us, if you're honest with yourself. So why I trade the way I trade and I do really well with my trading is because I understand this here. I'm okay not taking a trade for a couple of months. Most people are not. Why? Because I know after the couple of months of no trades, there's going to be many months after that with 2, 3, 4, 5 really good quality trades that's going to run on and make a lot of money for me. And then at the end of the year, guess what? I've had a really successful year. And on top of all that, guess what I have? Freedom. Because I'm only looking at the markets an hour, maybe a couple of hours per day maximum. Because I'm not looking to get in. I'm not looking to trade right now. I'm looking for these setups. And when I find them, I trade them. And when I trade them, I know most of them are going to make a profit. And as long as I keep doing that, it's a repeatable system again and again and again. Now, the hard thing about what I just said there is so many traders are out there are looking for excitement, right? They cannot handle just being bored. It's the same thing every single day for me. Why? Because being professional for me, if I want to rely on this for an income it's not like an income, right? I make a lot of money every single year from trading. But it's not like every month you make money, right? So every single month's different there. But if I want to rely on this, I need to have a solid foundation of how I'm approaching these markets to know for the rest of my life I'm going to do well from this thing. Most people don't do a lot of trading out of there because they have no solid foundation. They're guessing. I think gold's going to 10,000 because it's the great reset and the debt bubble and blah, blah, blah. They're having a guess. You may be right, but that's a guess. You can't rely on that. If you want to be around long-term, make a lot of money for the rest of your life out of the markets, we need something to rely on that's going to give us the confidence of having a good year. That's where I know 2026 is going to be an amazing year for me. Why? Because I just wait for these setups. Now, again, I teach my coaching clients what to look for their setup, and then I have another few things called like, and then I go on to things like what's called channel setups, so channel trades. Where are you? Here, right? So these are called channel trades. This is now another level up. The 52 is my foundation of having a good trade that they typically last on a daily chart. They typically last a week or two, and you can typically get, a nice sort of profit out of it. That's the 52 type of trades, right? Daily charts, beautiful, high probability. And then I go into these things called channel trades. These are the ones that when you do get a channel trade, again, this is just another level up. These are the ones that can pick up like this. My last channel trade here, as I said before, was a few months ago, and I picked up 300% return on it. And then the ultimate next level is called a level 2 trade. So a level 1 trade for me is 52. Then I obviously have the channel trades there as well. But then I have a thing called strong higher time frame with entry bar called level 2 trading. And this level 2 trading is just an amazing. So I have these 3 high quality setups that I'm always looking for in the markets. And it's always the same thing. It's nothing new, right, from here. So I'm not going to go into detail with all of these here because I'd be spending like hours and hours and hours with this here. But I'm trying to show you that I have my main setups I'm looking for, and every day doesn't matter what market it is, I'm always looking for my trading patterns. So I hope you can see, guys, that most traders struggle because there is no discipline behind having a trading approach in the first place. And their thinking's all wrong and so on and so forth. I know most people are losing a lot of money because they think they need to day trade. They think they need to look at these shorter term time frame charts and have all these trades and have a lot of trades so they can make a lot of money. What ends up happening? They lose a lot of money. And once you start to have this as your foundation, guys, you guys can have an amazing trading career and have some freedom in life. Why? Because all I do is I look at the daily charts. I also have scans in my TC2000 that I give my coaching clients to help me identify these 52 moving average trades. So yeah, I do give my coaching clients scans to look for this. And I promise you guys, when this thing starts to click for you, this is how I can actually, again, like I'm only trading an hour. Most of my actual trading is really half an hour per day. When I say trading, is that I'm managing the positions I'm in. I'm looking for new positions to get in. And then that's it. Like it's basically, and when you start to do this type of trading style, I do really well from this, but then also I have the freedom on the outside to do other things that I'm really passionate about. And so if you can start to rely on that there, guys, this is where my trading, and again, guys, every single year, it's the same thing. Like this Ethereum setup, why did Ethereum do really well? It's not a quickie dink. It's the setup. Moving average was coming up. Then we had this sideways pattern. Cool. When we get the breakout, there's a high probability of us actually having a nice move to the upside. How far, how high? I don't know. But at least I'm going to have a massive probability of making a profit. How much profit? I don't know. That's where my trade management techniques can come involved with it. And then I can manage it. And then guess what? Get out of Ethereum. Now stand back. Look for the next 52 setup. Wait a week, 2 weeks, a month. Boom. Another trade. Beautiful. Profit. Away we go. Some of them are losses, small losses, 20, 30%. Other them are 50, 80% profits. And then a good, say, 20 or 30% of them, just like my Groupon trade and Ethereum and all these other ones, you can start to pick up some really big profits. Like, again, Groupon for me was 300% return and so on and so forth. Just rinse, recycle, repeat. It's the same thing every single day. It's a system, a repeatable system. Now, the hard thing about doing this is what? Most people's inability to sit and do nothing. Because if you haven't had a trade for a whole month, you're like, what the hell am I doing? I'm supposed to be trading. I'm supposed to be making money right now. And then your thoughts then cause you to trade, and then you lose money. And then you blame, I don't know, me or some other bullshit out there or markets and so on and so forth, and then it doesn't work. Woo! It's amazing, guys. It's amazing. And it's amazing how powerful it is. And this is why, like, I'm so grateful for my actual coaching program that I have. Again, I'm not promoting it. It's actually closed now because I have a program called the 1% group that you're with me every single day as I'm doing my trading and stuff like that. It's closed now. And yeah, just the success in that 1% group that I've got. And it's only right now, I've only got 15 people in there for next year. And I'll close it down. The success of that group has just been oh my goodness, just been so good. I'm so grateful for what I know as a trader, because I do really well, and then obviously what I can do to help other people out there. Interesting plan, the 52 on the weekly Bitcoin. L shape equals is my mode high. 2xxx high. Can't find much in 3 months. Code is patience. Okay, so Mike, thanks, John. Move the 52. Actually, I'll bring up the at least the. Thanks, John. Move the 52 to the daily chart. Getting close. Bitcoin been going sideways for 40 days. This looks like a low setup. Yep, you're probably right. It's a setup. We're still not enough time yet. What we want is we want the market. Look at this here. We want it to go sideways to the moving average. And then there's a high probability of having a move off that. Wasn't a big move, but it's the same thing there. This is actually a perfect example. So Mike, what you want is you want the sideways pattern to come to the moving average and then bounce off it. So if we do get that as an example, and we continue sideways here, and we've got the moving average coming down through there somewhere, right? And you get that, and then you get a bit of a break like that there. Then yeah, you're probably going to get. Then there's a high probability of having a nice move off that. How big, how far, I don't know, but. Now you never want to get in early. You always want to wait for the break though. Just because we get the setup doesn't mean it's going to come. You always want to get. This is where having a proper entry signal. I have this now, Mike. It's important to understand, right? This is a high probability trading setup I'm teaching you right now. But then off that, I need to have my confirmation entry signal to get in off the trading setup. Does that make sense? So essentially what that means is I'm looking for a break above. Like for example here, I'm looking for a break above the highs, essentially with a strong breakout to give me a high probability it's actually going to have a move in that direction there. So, and again, I actually have 5 main trading rules when it comes to this pattern here. The setup is one, but I still need my confirmation entry candle because sometimes it won't actually follow through. So for example, look at this here. Went sideways here, but we didn't get a follow through, right? We did not get a follow through, but it didn't actually confirm off the trade here. It actually reversed down here. So you always want to wait for confirmation first. Confirmation for me is typically a break above. So GRPN was an example of a trade that I talked about today. It came down through here, right? The best type of trades off this, just give you guys a bit of an FYI. The best type of trades is when you do get this sideways pattern here, but then you end up getting a very strong large bar breaking off it. When you get this pattern sideways with a strong 52, and then you get a large bar breaking out of that one, this one here gives you a massive probability that we're about to go for another nice move to the upside. That's the start of that next move. I always call it large bar. And then right up through there. But then that's where trade selection and then trade management, because some of them might only last a couple of days and you have to get out. Some of them, you can be in it for a couple of weeks, like this one here. But when you start to overlay a powerful trading setup and then a precise entry candle to get involved with it, it is amazing. So good. And guess what, guys? Guess what? Guess what? It's the chart and one moving average. Nothing about all these other confusing indicators, stochastics, MACDs, RSIs, Elliott waves, the debt bubble, like none of that crap. You want to trade. Now, this is for trading, right? We're looking for good trades throughout the year. So at the end of every year, we can make a good income and we can pull some money out and pay taxes with, which I did 3 times this year. I had 3 really big withdrawals from my trading account with my profits. And every single time I did that because I had these big tax bills to pay for. So I was pulling money out of my trading profits there. And plus I was living off it and so on and so forth as well too. So, but to look at there, so, and again, guys, what I'm teaching you is the basics. What I really go with in my coaching program is what type of sideways pattern is perfect for what I'm looking for. And what I'm looking for really is I'm not looking for volatile sideways. I'm looking for a nice, smooth sort of sideways pattern. So now I'm getting the deep of the like really just it's one of the it's to me it's the highest probability trading setup on the planet. After my last 20 years of trading the markets, guys, it's my highest probability trading setup on the planet. What I'm teaching you here is the foundations of you guys to be able to use this and run with it. But then with my coaching clients, I teach them like the finer details, right? Like looking at the trend, looking at the moving average. What's the moving average doing? The sideways pattern here. What type of sideways is it sideways small bars or is it sideways volatile? What about the entry signal? What type of entry signal are we looking for? To say we're now likely to be starting that next move. When we do get in, what do we utilize on the chart to maximize the profit? So those trades are going to run on for a couple of weeks to make a nice profit, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I tell you what, it's amazing, guys. It really, really is. It's amazing. Mike, not just single 52 using, you need to. Mike, not just single 52 using, you need it ascending or descending. Yes, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. Because top. The reason why that's so important to have exactly like, and it's not pointing, right? It needs to be trending up. So there's a difference between pointing up and trending up. Trending up was my Ethereum trade, for example. This is my Ethereum trade here. Right? Why did I get into this? Because it had been going up for a few months at the time. The reason why that's so powerful is because the moving average tells you where the trend is at that time, but also I use the moving average like a momentum indicator. So there's trend and momentum in this direction there. And then you get the setup and so on and so forth. It's just, again, guys, this is trading, right? High quality, high powerful trading setup. But unfortunately, most people won't make it because even though I'm teaching them the foundation of a good setup here. And if they stuck to this, they're going to have a really good, successful trading year next year. But most of them are not. Most traders are impatient. Most people are like, I have sat here for 2 weeks and no trades. Like, what? And then they trade and they lose money. Guilty, trying to learn trading and have been playing in crypto, doubling my small account, and now I'm down 50% what I put in. Yeah. John, what's your thoughts on the FTAI breakout? FTAI breakout. Is that a stock? Very nice big breakout, isn't it? Very nice big breakout. Aviation, eh? Aviation. Let's go to when do you open your 1%? Do you take newbies or do we need experience? When do I open it? I typically open it a couple of times per year because it's only a small group that I allow in. Like this year, there's only about max 20 people in that group this year. And most of them have already signed up again next year for me. So that's why I opened up a few spots to the public just recently last month, and they got taken up really quickly. And because I'm only allowing 15 people at this time, like most of those 15 spots got taken up from my coaching clients this year because they did so well this year. They sign up again with me next year. So I'm not sure when I'm going to open it up again. If I do open it up again, I like to keep that group really small. But if I ever do open it up again, I'll let my list know and stuff like that, and we can go from there. And yeah, obviously, yeah, I do take newbies as well too. I actually prefer to take on newbies. Whenever if I take on a coaching client and they've had all these old past experiences, I spend 6 months out of a 1 year, because you're with me for a whole 1 year. I spend 6 months trying to get them to stop doing their bad habits and focus on what I'm doing. So where people that are newbies, I like coaching them because they come in with a bit of a fresh sort of mind. I'm not spending months and months trying to get you to stop all these other bad habits and get you to focus and that sort of stuff. Yep. Yeah. So, and that's basically my whole business model for you guys. That, my whole business model is I give away free course and a free book and so on and so forth, and some free education on YouTube and stuff like that. And when it comes to my actual business model, like I have like a $4 course that I sell. It's just something really small. And then I have a small coaching program that I normally take on 15, 20 people per year. And that's my coaching business, because most of my income comes from trading, and the money that I make comes from trading. So I don't have to rely on growing a big trading business. I don't want a big trading business. But I do want to coach because it gives me purpose and mission from there. But that's basically my coaching and my business model from there. Open up a few times a year and then the rest of the year. And so that's what I do. Because again, most of my income that I make throughout the year, I have to say like 80% of it comes from my trading. And the other 20% obviously comes from, the coaching signups and so on and so forth from there. But because I do really well from actual trading, I don't actually have to I don't have to grow a really big business and have thousands and thousands of clients. I don't want that myself. I want to continue to focus on trading really well. And then I want to have a small trading group that I can help along and show them some things I'm doing and help them along from there. So that's basically my business model. So right now, you can't really buy anything from me, really. I got nothing for Zara right now. And that's why I'm doing this session for you guys right now, right? So I'm giving you a good foundational look on what me and my coaching clients will be looking for all of next year. And that's the reason why I've been doing these live streams as well too. So just because it's getting towards the end of the year, so I thought I'd do these live streams to help you guys out. And we go from there. Hi, John. You should add copper to your routine as we expect it to shine in 2026. Oh. Well, I do. I have a routine of looking at all markets, by the way, not just. So let me show you what I mean here. So I have a thing called Trading View. And hey, K777. What's up, my man? Or is it? I hope it's like, I'm a female. Don't be rude. Whoops, sorry. What I have here in my Trading View, I look at So yes, I actually have a thing. So I'm looking at here, gold, silver, the indices as well. But then also I'm looking at obviously TMF and the rates. I'm looking at some of the tech stocks. I have 4 forex pairs that I keep an eye on as well too. So let me just bring it up. I'll bring it up to this level here. Right. So there's 4 forex pairs that I'm always watching for: the Australian dollar and the US dollar. I'm keeping an eye on things like the actual dollar itself, what's going on here. So you can see I've always kept an eye on that. Looks like we're actually about to make a move on the downside, which could push gold back up again. So I do that 4 forex pairs that I keep an eye on for. Some of the obviously Bitcoin through here, Ethereum as well too, ETH. And then I look at things like obviously this one here, natural gas. This is natural gas. This is here the emerging markets fund, uranium. So I've got uranium here. This is the uranium market. We've also got things like natural gas, copper. So copper's on the list as well too. Platinum. So platinum's here, which I had a beautiful trade with platinum, by the way. Beautiful trade. I made 250% return this year on platinum on an option trade. So platinum did really, really well for me this year. Made a lot of money on platinum this year, actually. So yeah, yes. Yes. So as you can see, yes, right. So I have my TC2000 platform, and then my TC2000 platform, I have a tab there where I'm running my scans, and the scans are scanning whatever I want. So if I want to scan the top 1,000 stocks only, or the S&P 500 stocks only, the top 500 stocks, then I can scan that to look for my trading setup. Does that make sense? So I utilize that because I can use the trading setup and so on and so forth. And the scans help me just run it to help me see if there's any potential trades that I might not be able to see within that trading setup, the 52 setup and so on and so forth. Again, I give that to my coaching clients. But then also every day, my routine is to keep an eye on all of these here as well too. And by the way, yes, I'm not sure if you heard, but I had a really good trade this year on Ethereum. Right back here. And how I found out with Ethereum is that I was just doing my rounds and I saw this here, which is sideways in the strong moving average. And then we had this nice move up from it. So how I found out about my Ethereum trade, which was just an incredible trade off it, was just doing the rounds one day and I saw it. So yeah, I keep an eye on all markets, man, because I'm an all market trader, right? So sometimes there's going to be setups on individual stocks, and I don't really care what stock it is. Like I just don't care. If the setup's there, I'm going to take it. And then I do my rounds to keep an eye on all things. I've had good setups this year. I had like mining sector. I had a really good trade in the mining sector this year. Had 280% return on the mining sector this year. Silver, had a nice trade on silver as well too. Ethereum, there was a beautiful trade that I did on platinum. So I'm keeping an eye on all these markets for these setups because I'm an all market trader. There's always these opportunities out there once you know what to look for. But Ethereum was a beautiful trade for me. Again, utilizing options. I made 250% return on my option trade this year on that one there. So very nice setups. And that's what I do. That's what I do with my coaching clients, by the way. I think it's one of the reasons why it gets sold out, because I'm doing all this stuff behind the scenes for my own personal trading, and I'm just sharing with them these other opportunities that they may miss as well too. Yep, John. Yep. John tried to help you free, but not all can good return alike. Smash the like button. Oh, thanks, Tom. Thanks, Tom. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that, mate. Yeah, Top, mate. And that's one of the reasons why, Top, you probably realize, right? Especially this session here before the new year. I wanted to make sure that I went into actually specifics of actually what to look for in a high quality setup. You know what I mean? So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do the live session today as well too. I'm like, okay, how can I help these guys move forward next year? Because again, I've got nothing to offer you right now apart from my free book or whatever. So that's one of the reasons why I want to do the live session today, just to say, guys, this is what makes me successful. This is what's going to help me have a good year next year. So just give me a sec, guys. Just give me a sec. For you guys that are watching, Happy New Year as well to you guys. Happy New Year. I hope my whole goal through these videos, guys, is I don't always get it right. Sometimes I get it wrong and I make wrong calls and stuff like that. But my hope in today's session and maybe some things I've taught you this year is I'm trying to show you that you can actually simplify your trading process, have a high probability trading setup, not really using complicated stuff, and actually have a good, successful trading career. That means for years and years and years, 10, 20, 30 years. How do you have a really good, successful trading career? And my job is to give you something that you can keep repeating for the rest of your life, that you can use across all markets to do really well from trading. And that's what I'm all about, guys. I want to give you a plan. So no matter what's happening, bull market, bear market, crashes, whatever, I want you to be able to do really well. And the only way that I've been able to do that, to make sure that I can take care of my family, is what I'm teaching you here. I just expect the miners to lead the market as they generally follow copper. Really? In this period of cycle when overlaying each other? Yes, man, I wouldn't do that, man. Don't do that. What happens if today is the day they stop following each other? Then what? You know what I'm trying to say? Like there may be a following of each other recently, but there's going to come a point in time where they're not going to follow each other. So don't trade based off that. Don't trade based off that. Because now you're just having it, it's a bit of a gimmick. It's a bit of a short-term little thing you're looking at. Use solid foundations of a good trading setup. You can just use again and again and again and again. Don't make something up. What sector do you expect to perform in 2022, if any? Energy sector. Energy sector is my number one sector. I'm focusing on myself. I'm actually looking for some good setups right now. I've got the setup. Now, what's the setup, guys? What's the setup? Sideways, strong 52. Let me show you here. So when you start to go to XLE, what do we have here? Sideways, strong 52. So Because this is a long-term monthly log chart, by the way. This is a long-term monthly log chart with basically the pattern that I look for. It's the pattern that's telling me now that we're not there yet. But if we can start to break above all-time new highs up here, then I think the energy sector could be one of the greatest performers in the whole entire market next year. Come this time next year. So the energy sector is my main sector that I'm focusing on. But for me, remember, but this is basically looks like a setup, yeah. And yes, can you see how simple it is, right? Moving averages coming up sideways. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like, it's so simple. Where most traders go wrong, they're like, well, what's the stochastic saying? And what's the RSI saying? And the Bollinger Band? And what about the inflation data? Shut up. Simple pattern works. That's it. But I'm going to try to be smart and try to use all this other crap. Like, I'm telling you how I trade. There's nothing. I'm one moving average and a pattern. Yeah, you want to see something really freaky? Why did gold make a really big move recently? What did gold look like before the big breakout? Ooh, oh, oh. No. What's the moving average doing? Coming up through here? Look at that sideways pattern. I'll just delete all these off the screen here. What do we have here? Look at the moving average. I'm just gonna highlight this here. That's the moving average there. Look at the sideways pattern here for 3 years. Then we had the breakout. It's the same thing. Why did gold have a big breakout? Now, energy sector. Pretty much the exact same thing. Anyway, so what I need to see is the energy sector to me, once we start to break out up here, this thing could take on a really, really nice move. I think this is the next market to make the next big move. And probably 12 months from now, everyone's going to be talking about how the energy sector is going nuts and blah, 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 blah. Right? Give John a thumbs up, folks. Thanks, DT3, man. I appreciate that. But it's just simple. It's the pattern, right? It's the pattern. This pattern tells me there's a high probability of having another strong move to the upside. And because it's a monthly chart, and we're talking about 3 years of sideways pattern here, that means we could be getting ready for a nice move for a good 6 months or more, or maybe 6, 12 months, maybe a couple of years. We're not there yet. We haven't got a breakout yet. But once it breaks out, then we could be starting that. And that's where it finishes for me. Everyone else wants to say, well, what about, why is that going to happen? What's going to cause that to happen, John? And I'm like, I have no idea. I just know when the pattern forms, it gives me a high probability of seeing the move up. That's it. Stop trying to be smart. Use it, simplify it. But then people that are really smart, they want to try to factor the inflation data and the debt bubbles and the Great Reset and the dollar collapse and all that sort of stuff, and they try to incorporate all that other stuff into their own trading, and then they lose money. I know. I'm like, okay. And the hard thing about that, though, is even when I coach some of these people, and they go and try to be smart and use all this other crap out there, that's not going to... Because, guys, what I'm all about with you guys is I'm all about teaching you things you can repeat for the rest of your life, not make something up today. That's not using something you can use for the rest of your life. What I'm teaching you is you can use for the rest of your life, not try to make something up. You need a repeatable system you can use in bull markets, bear markets, crashes, crypto, stocks, whatever, right? And away we go. So that one there, and then this one here, and then I also see oil as well too. Then the energy sector and oil. This is oil weekly chart. I don't know where it's going to break out, but once we break, we're probably going to be starting a really nice, good bull market. Or if it is breaking to the upside, should I say. So yes, oil. Do I trade the ASX? I don't know. I used to. When I first started trading, I used to. But nah. The liquidity in the ASX stocks, I actually do keep an eye on the ASX stocks, yes, by the way. I'll just show you here. I'll show you here some of the stocks I actually keep an eye on. Every now and then, it's not a main thing though. So if I go to my Aussie list through here, these are my Aussie stocks that I keep an eye on for. So this is obviously the ASX 200, the index for Aussies. And you can see here, I've already been doing some stuff here. Same thing with the XJ, what's happening here right now. And then you have things like BHP and Rio Tinto, which is our largest mining companies here in Australia. Or in Australia, should I say. And then you have things like Rio Tinto confirmed your breakout. Did it? Oh, you talk about here, right? Strong sideways move up, right? On the daily chart there. Hey, yes. Let me ask you a question here. I'm not sure how much you've actually heard of what I've talked about here today. But is that basically the setup I've been talking about today? Strong moving average sideways. And then we have a move up profit. It's just... It's powerful. It's powerful. Whenever you get that. I may be listening for 10 minutes. Cool. Well, it's just, yeah. It's amazing. But good pickup, man. Good pickup. Been following for 4 years. Okay. Oh, okay, yeah. Awesome. 4 years. Well, thank you for your support, man. I appreciate you coming back from time to time to check up on what's this crazy Howard talking about today. And yes, mate, yes. One thing you'll probably notice, and I hope you're starting to see the behind the scenes of my trading, is I will do general market updates and maybe give my opinion on markets. But when it comes to my actual trading, you can see how I'm actually using trading setups. Does that make sense? So if I do an update like I think gold's going to top out soon, that's just an opinion. You know what I mean? It's not my actual trading setup. There's a difference from me giving just a general opinion and then saying, here's my actual trading setup, which, by the way, I never do. It's because that's what my 1% coaching club pay for. So, yeah. I promise you guys, I promise you. If you just simplify the process, guys, if you just simplify the process, you don't need to be complicated at all. And what I'm teaching you right here now, guys, I promise you, it's the foundation of having a high quality setup. What does that mean? Whenever we get this pattern here, strong moving average in a sideways period, there's a high probability we're going to see another leg to the upside. We don't know. That's, I think it's so incredible. I love it. I'm so grateful because my background is not finance and stuff like that. I barely finished year 10 and I went and worked for my dad as a landscape gardener. Like I got a laboring background, nothing like this. And then now I've got a high probability trading setup that I know that if I take most of the time, I'm going to get a nice move off. And with that, I can have a good trade. And then sometimes it's not. It's like, and all I need is just one moving average. And that all this other stuff I don't have to focus on. That's what allows me to now only trade an hour or so per day. Now, when I say trade, I mean like I'm managing the positions I'm in and I'm looking to get into trades and holding it for a couple of weeks. That's all it is, guys. That's all it is. I don't make money every trade. I have my losses. I've had some losses recently. But the losses were like, one was a 10% loss. Another one was, I think it was a 30% loss, I think it was. But the profits before that were 75%, 280%, 250%, 300%. Like, man, I'm using these percentage. That's not on the entire account, by the way, as well, too, right? It's a percentage of the account. I do have losses because there's no guarantees of making money on every single trade. But I want to set my game. I want to set the game up to win. That's all. Because trading's hard, right? Trading's difficult. It really is a hard thing. You got to control your emotions, the fear, the greed, and you got to be disciplined at sticking at the process. And it's hard. It's not an easy thing. And I guess that's why I'm very, very grateful now that I'm part of the 1% that actually does well out of trading. And my goal next year is to become part of what's called the 0.1%, where they make like 7 figures consistently every single year from their trading. Investing is different purposes, guys, right? You can do really well from investing, but it's more periodically. But it's definitely not an easy thing. But the most important thing that I do as a coach is to get people focusing on the right things and then getting them to become really good at the right things and not focusing on all this other stuff that just doesn't matter. Oh, by the way, guys, what is this? Sideways pattern, moving average coming up, and we had a move off, didn't we? Again, I'm after a high probability trading setup that's going to give me a high probability of having a nice move in that direction. I don't know how big or how much. I just want to be able to have a high probability of doing that because with that, I can have a profit. Small profit, big profit. That's all I'm looking for. It's all the same stuff, guys. All the same stuff. I'm just looking at some of the Aussie stocks here that I keep an eye on. What is this, guys? What is this? What's this? Look at that. Sideways. Strong moving average. We break out. We have a nice move up. I'm telling you right now, guys, it is so powerful. Like I haven't checked the Aussie stocks for a while. Look at me here. Look at all these odd setups. Where's Top? Top, you still in? Hey, Top, you said there's no trades. I think you need to start trading the Aussie market. There's been some good trades in the last few months. You need to go to the Aussie market. Oh, look at it bounce too. Oh, yeah, I haven't checked the Aussie market in probably a month or so. I don't really focus on it that much. But I do, as you can see, I do have a watch list of stocks from the Aussie market that I keep an eye on from time to time. Yeah, I'm only joking, man. But put it this way, Top. If I do see a good trade on the Aussie market, I see a good trade. If I see a good trade on the German market or DAX, I'm taking it because I know And that's been amazing for me because, as I said before, this year I've taken stocks, I've taken trades on the mining sector, platinum, Ethereum, some individual stocks. So I'm watching all markets because there's always these opportunities out there for myself. What you don't want to do, yes, is this, okay? I saw what you said there. I use mechanical trading, so I go back test the whole heart to find what rule works best and for interest. Cool. I don't use moving averages. I use trend lines, but they will be very similar. What you don't want to do, yes, if you want to start applying some of the stuff I'm talking about today, don't just take one little bit, like use it, right? What I'm talking about here is if you like what I teach here about the sideways strong moving average, use that. You know what I mean? Don't just say, well, I'm going to just use the sideways period and so on and so forth, because like what I'm teaching you here, yes, has been in the development for 20 years of my trading and so on and so forth. Man, I've been gone for almost 2 hours. How good is that? Oh, man. The ASX looks set to outperform as it's lagging the US markets and usually, maybe. But that's just a guess, right? If I said, I agree with you, it's just an opinion. Or I think you're wrong, it's just an opinion. Like, I don't know. This is where like trading's so hard, right? Trading's so hard because it's like a lot of people want to trade based off opinions. Like, I don't know, it may not. My scan on your L shape Disney is similar. 3 years sideways and flagging in weekly. Let's go have a look at Disney. Let's see if you have this right, Mr. Top. Yeah, no, there's nothing here. Nothing here. You are right. We are getting a sideways pattern here. But there's definitely nothing for me here, myself. It's sideways, but this is very volatile sideways through here. So, yeah. And the way that I'm looking at this, if I'm actually zooming in here, this looks like it's about to have a move to the upside. Why? Because we're actually starting to get some sort of trend kicking into place now. And that is you can see here, right? So that was the high point, high point, high point, high point. We had these lows down here. We made a higher high. Now we're making a higher low. And we're starting to pick up. So if Disney does hold and we start to continue picking up here, this here is going to be the very first higher low in the markets. We just made a higher high. This is now gone from no trend here. And now it looks like it's starting to break out. So this here is now starting. This has been no trend because no trend is sideways. But then we break out, make a higher high, come down, make a higher low. This here is the start of the new trend. And then we typically get something like that going on. If we did get that. Because a higher low and a higher high is an upward trend. When we have a channel, there's no trend. Now we start a trend. So we're not there yet. But it could be real soon. One thing Mm. Yeah, so big picture, this actually looks like it's starting to pick up. We've got this trend line coming down through here. We've actually broken out of that. From a retracement point of view, it retraced 50% and held. So all of this is actually quite bullish. So for me, by looking at just the overall trend here of actually this one here, and if I look at this weekly chart here, interesting. Again, if we start to break above this 125 level, then I would say we're probably going to make our way up to probably around the 155, that 150 to 155 level. So probably around there, I would say, somewhere around about this level here. So if we do that, only because the thing for me, rule number one is the trend. So rule number one for me is the trend of the market. What I taught you guys today was a simplified process, moving average pattern, just to help you guys. But the thing for me is I'm always looking at the trend of the market, right? The trend. And what that simply means is that if the market's going sideways, there is no trend, but eventually there's going to be a trend. And then it typically starts like this here. So, but there is also a big gap as well too. So there's these gaps up here. So maybe somewhere around about like that level up there. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing from there. And it looks like the buyers of this overall big trend is actually starting to change after all this time. With options and L shape, do you get in right after the breakout and confirmation? Okay, so Tom, mate, I'm not sure if you're still around. Hope you are, because I want to help you out with this here. Okay. Let me see. I'll just use this chart here. Oh, you am? Okay, cool. Right. Let me teach you this here. Okay. So one of the things here is if I'll just draw this here on the actual, I'll draw this. Let me do this here. Okay. So I will draw let me use the brush here. So I'm going to draw it up like that through there. Okay. Something like that through there. And then I'm going to draw up. And then we're going to get this sideways pattern like this here. Put that through there. I'm going to use that through there. So one thing I look for is this is the setup I look for. This gives me setup to get ready for a trade. One thing I have found, Tom, is this. Is that if we can get that type of setup and then we can get maybe like what's called a strong bar off this level, typically breaking above these highs up here, and you might get something like that going on. This strong bar here gives me now a high probability that the next leg, in this case up is starting. And then we typically get something like this from there. Does that make sense, Tom, what I'm saying? So the setup is one thing, but I've got the setup, but I'm like, well, when is that next leg likely to start? If it's going to go up again, have another leg to the upside, when is that likely to be starting? Oh, we typically get a very strong breakout here. And when we get this strong breakout bar or candle off this pattern, that now gives me confirmation that there's a high probability we're likely to start to see a nice move up. So I'll give you an example here, like a real life example. I've talked about Groupon today, GRPN. So let me bring on the moving average and I'll show you this here, right? So here. So this point right here. There's the sideways, there's the large bar. This large bar here, even though it's very large, it gives me the confidence that now we've got the breakout. Now I can enter because it gives me confidence that we're actually going to be starting that next leg up. Does that make sense, Tom, what I'm saying here? So that's what makes my trading so powerful, is because I've got a high powerful trading setup. And then I know exactly the type of entry I'm looking for to give me a high probability we're actually starting that next move to the upside. And this is, I did this on Groupon. I do it on all my trades. And then when you can get that, so also you always buy a lot of time too. For these trades, well, depending on the trade I'm in, right? Because some trades, depending on the trade, like this is what's called a level 1 trade, a 52 trade. Then I have my level 2 trade, which they can last sometimes a couple of months. And then I have a channel trade, and they can last anywhere between 3 and 6 months, like these types of trades here. So this is a level 1 trade, a level 2 trade, so on and so forth. So depending on the horizon of what I actually depending on the horizon. So I'm always looking at the type of trade I'm in right now. So for example, here, I would probably like looking at maybe a 60-day option, because I might be in it for maybe a month, maybe even a couple of weeks. Now, with what's called a level 2 trade or a channel trade, which is my next level up that I teach my 1% club, those level 2 trades and a channel trade, they have the potential of making a really big move for a few months or more, sometimes longer. So therefore, I'll have to buy around 6 months worth of time to make sure I've got plenty of time with there. So it's just the expectation of the trades. But it's something like this, what's called a level 1 trade, where it's just a real nice, good, simple trading setup. Most of the trades you're in and out within a couple of weeks, because it's a daily chart. And within that, I still can pick up a nice return utilizing options. And then you can go from there. Now, Tom, I always buy in the money options. I do not buy out of the money options when I'm utilizing this here. In the money options are more expensive, yes, but I'm also about how do I actually have risk protection so I can get out for a small loss if it is a loss. So you don't want to be looking at out of the money options, especially too far out, because now you're going to have big losses as well too, and you don't want that. You buy out of the money options, yes, you might make 80% or 100% return on the trade utilizing options, but that's no good if now you're actually losing 50 or 80% on your options because you're buying too far out of the money. For me, first or second in the money is the sweet spot to where I can get 20, 30% losses. And then if it does move for me over the next couple of weeks, I can pick up a nice 80, 100%. And in fact, like Groupon actually just kept making a really, really big move up. And I made 300% return on this one as the example. So there, and I'm also trying to utilize that as well too. So if you buy out of the money options, they can hit you quite hard, and that's I'm not happy with that type of risk on my account or within that trade. Yeah. And the only reason why, once again, Tom, in the money, even though they're a bit more expensive, I'm looking at the risk, right? I'm looking at the risk. If I put on, for example, Groupon, if I put on 10% of my account into Groupon right now, and I know an average loss is 20, 30%, say I have a $100,000 trading account, and I put on $10,000 in this trade, why not, in the back of my mind, I'm roughly risking $2,000, $3,000. Okay, cool. But in this example, this real life example here, I end up making 300% return on this trade over the course of a month here. So therefore, in this example here, I was risking $2,000 to $3,000 to then to then make $30,000, which is a 30% growth on the account. So I hope you can see, Tom. I'm always now. This is a really good example here. I don't always get these numbers, but I'm trying to get that to where, how do I have in this example of a $100,000 trading account, how do I have a $2,000 or $3,000 risk to potentially make $15,000, $20,000, $30,000? And if I have that along with a high probability trading setup, I'm setting the game up to win. Does that make sense now, Tom? I'm doing all these I'm doing all these things, the trading setup, how I'm trading, so on and so forth. So therefore, I'm setting the game up to win, to where I could be 50-50 right and have a really good successful trading career. Which I'm not. I'm a lot more higher than that. So, and this is how you win the game of trading. High probability trading setup, simple. And then I'm utilizing things like options to where I can balance the risk, right? Now, you don't put 100% of your trading account, no. But you utilize things like, and this is how I think about my own trading. And again, I'm utilizing the numbers here, and I'm always trying to get that sort of thing there. Again, using a $100,000 trading account as an example, using 10% of your account, by buying in the money options and plenty of time, I'm risking maybe $2,000 to $3,000, maybe a little bit more. But if it moves for me, then then if it moves for me, then I could pick up maybe 10 or 15 grand on that trade. But my risk on that trade was roughly $2,000, $3,000. But then I made $10,000, $15,000 off that trade. That's the risk to reward that I actually want on the trade. Then I overlay something that's likely to work, that's likely to make me profit most of the time. So yep, I got you. I go fine tune. So, but just remember too, right? Like, there's any single given trade can be a losing trade. So the number one thing I'm always looking at is, what am I risking on this trade? What if this doesn't work and I have to get out for a loss? What's that going to do to my trading account? That's always the number one question I go into every single trade, because I want to protect my account. The unfortunate thing is most traders don't think about the risk. They just load up because they think, I'm going to make so much money off this trade, but they don't think about the downside. Now, the downside only comes to me now after spending 2 decades of trading and completely screwing up my risk management. And it just, yeah, it'd been no good. So, yeah. What you want to do, yes, is, again, my thing I'm always asking myself is, how do I make sure every month I'm doing the right things to set myself to have to having a good trading year? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not focusing on short term. How do I set myself up to have a good trading year? What does that look like? Okay. Well, let's just say I take some really bad trades and I do some mistakes and I lose some trades and all that sort of stuff. Let's just say I had a horrible win-loss ratio. Well, how do I set myself up to, even if I had a horrible win-loss rate, how do I set myself up with a horrible win-loss ratio to still have a really good year at the end of the year? My focus is always, how do I have a good year this year? And not focusing on one trade or anything like that. It's all the decisions I'm making, the risk management, the trade selection, getting out fast for small losses when they're not working. When they are working and it is doing well for me, how do I let the profit run just a little bit more and all that sort of stuff? So I'm always looking at, I want to have a good year this year. I'm not focusing so much on this month or this week. And that's what I'm always focusing on. And the reason why I say this year is because I want to make sure that every single week, if there's a slow week or if there's a slow month, I'm not freaking out. I'm like, oh my goodness, there hasn't been many trades for the last 30 days. And I'm like, that's okay. It's a whole year that I'm thinking about. And that's what my number one focus is every single year, I want to have a really good year. Okay, what do I need to be doing this week? What do I need to be doing this month? I need to be okay being patient. I need to be okay not taking a trade this month. Because I'm thinking about December, where I am right now. I'm looking back at my last 12 months now, and I've had a really good year this year. Because there was many months there was no trades. And then there was, slew of about 6 months where I had like a 500% return, 280% return on the mining sector, 250% return, platinum, group almost 300% return. But then also had some loss in there. I had a 10% loss, a 30% loss in there as well too. I think there's one trade at break even. Like all these trades I'm mentioning right now, they're in the last 6-7 months. So again, this is what I'm always trying to, because I have losses and and all that sort of stuff is, I don't know what trade's going to work out really well, but I want to make sure that if I take 20, 30 trades this year, how do I make sure at the end of the year that I've done the right thing within those trades? That means risk protection. That means trade selection. That means getting out fast when I know it's not working for me to cut my losses short, the trade management side of things. All these little things to make sure every year I'm having a good year. Then when I wrap this around with how I trade, which simply means the reason why I do this trading style and I only look at the market an hour or two per day, because I'm managing the positions I'm in right now, because I'm not looking to get in and get out the same day, and I'm looking to get into new trades today, and then my trading's done. There's nothing else to do. Like, go for a walk, go to the gym, do some meditating, read a book. Like there's nothing else to do. Now, yes, a lot of times I'll look at the market when the market's closed, but I'm not looking for trades now. I'm just looking for what potentially could be coming up soon. And that's how I have successful trading years, while creating this level of freedom in my life to go to the gym and do this other stuff out there. And then this is where my life is at right now. And it's having this trading approach and not day trading. Day trading is taking this and then looking at the 1 minute charts. That'll destroy your life. And so this is where, like, I've always had this saying, I want to have a trading style that's going to fit my ideal lifestyle. And this is it here. A really high quality trading setup, really high trading approach, and only looking at the market an hour or two per day. Really, all my actual real trading is done in half an hour per day, because I'm managing the position I'm in right now. Then I'd scan the market, look at the market, check all the markets I'm looking at: silver, gold, the commodity sector, looking at some of the foreign exchange pairs, like I'm looking at here right now. Like the Aussie dollar. This is the Aussie dollar I've been keeping an eye on for. I keep an eye on that as well too, and Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I do some scans through there. So only really about half an hour, and I'm checking everything. Okay, cool. No. Okay, here's some new trades I'm getting into today, or there's no new trades today, but I'm going to manage the trades I'm in right now. No need to get out of it. Okay, finished. And then I might spend after that, like I don't have to, but then I'll spend maybe a couple of hours per day throughout the day, just manually going through the market and have a good look and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, just give me a sec, guys. Oh, MACD, my man, MACD. I'm offering $5,000 wager to anyone that silver will drop back to $50 ounce support. Anyone? All right, let's just take a guess. Big fat guess. So I'm guessing you're short silver right now. Then is that why? So I guess you're actual short silver, if that's the case. So you're short silver up here. Then I'm guessing. Why Bitcoin? No. Let's go back to your original statement. You're so confident that silver's going to drop to $50. Why aren't you shorting silver right now? If you're so confident, you want to put a $5,000 wager on it. Why not just short it? I wouldn't short it. This thing's parabolic. You never know when this is going to end. But if you're so confident, then why don't you short it? Exactly, MACD. But these things can last a lot longer than we originally think. So you're exactly right. They do. But who said it's going to stop here? Who said it's not going to go to 100 first? I wouldn't be shorting silver right now. Not with this parabolic move. This thing this could be halfway through the move before it ends up topping out. You're exactly right, and it will crash. But unfortunately, it never crashes when we think it's going to. And see, here's the thing, guys. Like, as you guys can see, right, one of the biggest mistakes I see with a lot of traders out there is they get so focused on one market. As like I've been talking about throughout this entire session here, I don't care about any market. I really don't. I'm focused on all markets, individual stocks, banking stocks, mining stocks. Like I don't really care about any stock out there or any one market out there. I'm just looking for a high quality trading setup. That could be JP Morgan next week. It could be Caterpillar, Berkshire Hathaway, a mining stock. Like if I get my trading set up, I'm going to take it. Like Groupon, right? Groupon was a trade. Like I'm not focused on one market. Oh, because there's all these other opportunities out there that we can make money from, and we become so singular focused. Ugh, metals. I warned of the 2008 stock market crash since March 2008. You don't use indicators? What's set up? I'm not sure if Tom, Top, I'm not sure if you guys are still here, but this guy's come in now. It's like having a go at me. Is like, oh, what type of setup do you use? Oh, you make me laugh. I'm the man because I called the 2008 stock market crash. And what type of setup do you use? Okay, buddy. Okay. Well, you can keep using your MACD like a pro. Hey, MACD. Recently, I've actually shown my real equity curve for the last couple of years. Can you put a video up on your YouTube channel showing your equity curve for this year? And also, by the way, can you include last year as well too? Like I've done that myself. I've been very transparent about my equity curve last year, my trading equity curve last year, and also my trading equity curve this year. So I've been very, very transparent about that. So I'd like to see your actual trading results. I've been very transparent about mine. So if you've been doing really well, I'd like to actually see your overall growth. And if you actually want to see mine, again, here it is here. So last year for me, this here is my 2024 equity curve for my trading account. Right? This here was taking a screenshot at October here. So you can see I actually put the date here. You can see that's October 13th, 2025. And then this is another one that I took about a month ago. So here's my real equity curve. This is last year, 2024. And this here was taken about a month or so ago here. So I want to encourage you, man. Like if your MACD and that sort of stuff is really that good, then like I'm yeah, good for you. Glad you made money. I posted my entries into shorting Bitcoin? Well, show me your overall equity curve then. Like if you've done well, show the equity curve. Like it's no pissing contents. Oh, okay, I see. Okay. All right. Okay then. That's all I had to. That's all I had to learn. All I do know, Matt D, is this. Okay, is a successful trader like myself. I don't spend my time going into YouTube comments and posting YouTube comments and going into chat and all that sort of stuff and saying the stuff that you're saying right now. A really professional, really successful trader, we don't bother about that sort of stuff. Because guess what? At the end of the day, no matter what I say, I can be wrong. So for you to come here and say, I'm going to put a $5,000 wager that silver's going down to $50 and I'm not even short it. Come on, man. Come on. And then you won't actually show me your actual equity curve for your trading account this year. Just shows me where you're really at. And that's okay. That's okay. We just shows me what you're doing there. Now, it's not to say that I'm better than you. I'm not. I'm just trying to show you that, like, you can't use a long-term trading, MACD, is not about having a guess, right? Because you may be right. You may be wrong as well too. And that's having a big guess. And you can never make long-term success in the markets by having a guess. You need a system there. Take my $5,000 wager, but I'm not confident to short silver. And I won't even show my equity curve. Yes, I completely agree. John, what do you think on S32 on ASX? Are you an Aussie? Yes? I'm guessing you are. Trading's hard, guys, right? And there's no certainties in the markets, and especially if you're going to have a guess of where things are going to crash and so on and so forth. There's a sweet humble pie that comes with that, because a lot of the times you're not going to be right. We just need to understand that as well too. Need some humble pies. I can be wrong sometimes. Even when I do have a powerful trading setup, I'm going to be wrong. You are an Aussie. Oh, fantastic. Where are you from? What? Are you from Melbourne? From Brisbane? Let me go to... Oh, you're from Sydney. How good is that? Okay, so let's go to... what's that? S32. Oh, you can see I was doing some analysis with it back here. So I was looking at this one. You can see I've already done some analysis back here. I'm just not sure. One thing I'm always looking at is okay. Rule number one for me right now, yes, for me, rule number one is the trend analysis, especially on the big weekly charts. One thing I'm just still not sure about is this to me still overall looks like a big downward trending for environment through here. We're still getting these lower highs, lower lows through here. So I'm not sure of the overall big trend. That's the issue here. And that's really, really, really important. We did get the sideways pattern. We did get a bit of a move off the sideways pattern, which was right there. As you can see, there it is right there. But as for a big move, and we're getting close to this resistance level, so that's the way that I see it. So it's not about trend lines for me at all. I'm just drawing that to show you. For me, it's all about trend analysis. High, lower high. There's a high there. Lower high, maybe same high back here. So that's more downward trending environment. This is still more of a downward overall trend. We're not in an upward trend here. So and therefore it's like there really is no trend here at all. And so therefore when I see this, I'm not sure of the next direction. Right. So I'm not sure of this overall direction here. I want to see that there. And we're actually coming close to a major resistance level as well too. There's all this major resistance up through here. And you can really see it's been pretty, and it's been pretty sideways through here. So I'm not sure of the overall, there could be a lot of issues that's actually problems through here. So the number one thing for me is not really trend lines and things like that. The number one thing for me anyway is the highs and lows on this weekly chart to see where the overall trend is. We did have the sideways pattern and we did get a bit of a move off that. So it actually already worked. But yeah, I'm just not sure. Well, actually, no. Yeah, I'm not sure because there is no clear trend on this page through here. It's more like sideways and yeah. What's that? In my job, I can make it up as I go along and still do a good job. Not at this. No, you can't make it up. You can't make it up. And if you do make something up, just understand that that can be wrong as well too. And the only way that I've found squishes, I think it is 1, 2, 3. The only way that I've found some sort of consistency with my trading is to be able to rely on the same type of trading plan throughout the year. That's going to give me a good win-loss ratio. It's going to give me probabilities. I'm going to have some losses. I'm going to have some wins. And then at the end of the year, if I've done my job right, then I'm going to have a high win-loss ratio. I'm going to have my losses and I'm going to have my profits. And then a good portion of those profits, maybe 30% of them are going to be really big profits. And then it equals a good year. And then that's all I do every single year. Rinse, recycle, repeat, rinse, recycle, repeat. So, and that's the only way to move forward, right? Whenever we start to like do what that other guy, MacD, was saying before and stuff like that, like we're definitely going to crash here and we're definitely going to go down here. Like no one really knows, right? I'm calling for another big leg to the upside in the stock market because the charts are telling me we're getting ready for another move in the upside. The charts are telling me 52 still trending up. Until we have this sideways here.
So whenever we get the move up and the sideways, the moving average is still trending up, trend's still up. There's a high probability we're going to go for another leg to the upside. How far? Is it 7,500? Is it 8,000? So that's how trading works. Professional trading is about having a trading plan. You guys have heard this before. I cannot be long-term successful by simply just having a guess every day. No way. I'll be wrong most of the time. But the reason why I'm calling for another leg to the upside is, once again, the stock market's giving me my trading pattern there. Hi, John. Been following you for years. Just curious. Why do you even have a YouTube channel? Is it just to get your private clients, as you call it? No disrespect. Why do I do my YouTube channel? Well, it does help me get my private clients, yes. But just so you know, my private client group, especially like what I call my 1% club, because that's my private client group, I only have 15, 20 people in that. Like, for example, right now, I've done this live stream right now for over 2.5 hours. My coaching program's actually closed. I opened up 15 spots a month ago. They're already been taken up for my 1% club for next year. If I do open up another few more spots, I might do it in a few weeks or a month or something like that. But most of the year, my coaching program's actually closed. And every now and then I might open up 1 or 2 spots. But the reason why I do it is because I actually love teaching and helping people with the stuff that I've learned, even for free. And then, yeah, I'm going to help a lot of people by doing this. And then when I do open up my coaching program, hopefully I've built enough trust and respect with people throughout the months and potentially even years that then they like me and trust me. Then they'll actually want to become a coaching client if and when I do open up again. Does that make sense, Drew? So right now, you can't actually join my coaching program. It's closed. And again, it's only a small coaching group. So it's not like I'm taking on thousands of people every single year. The only thing I have to offer right now is a $4 trading bundle for $4. So it's like, the only reason I'm doing this session today is because I'm going through all this stuff today that's really helped me have good, successful years. It's helped me have a good year this year. And I know it's going to help me have a good year next year and the year after. So, and then my job is just to come on and just keep providing real value and help some people for free. And my job is just to help people. And I know as long as I keep doing that, then whenever I open up the coaching spots, like I did just a month ago for next year, like they get taken up really quickly because I've built trust and respect within the community. And plus, you know what? At the end of the day, I love this stuff. I just love it so much. I love the charts and the graphs and the things that's really, really made a big difference to me. And I just love it so much that, as you guys can tell, I've been doing this for 2.5 hours now, this live stream. And there's nothing scripted here. I haven't actually had a plan. I'm just like, let me teach you some stuff here. So, and I just love it so much. And I'm just so excited about it. I'm so excited about it because I see my background of where I came from, which was I barely finished school. I went and worked for my dad as a landscape laborer, a landscape gardener. And then I went in through just basically the laboring industry and so on and so forth and stuff like that. So that's my background. I'm not academically smart. So I look at my background about not academically being smart and all that sort of stuff. And I've done well from trading. And what's the thing that's really helped me do well from trading? And then I just get excited for other people that were where I was before. So, and again, like, I love this stuff so much that I just get, I get really excited for the opportunities and the possibilities. And then, yeah. And then I want to share it with the world. So again, this live stream today, you can't buy anything from me right now. I'll give away a free book, and or maybe like you might get offered a $4 trading course, something like that. But that's, that's it from there. Would be nice to take out that major top around 470. What market? Yes. Are you talking about the S3 too? I'm guessing. Let's go to here. I agree. We are likely to see a melt up 03 to 07. Great opportunity. Well, yes. Yes, S3 too. Yep. I thought so. I'll refer to your comment here, okay, about the melt up. I don't know, because remember what we've been talking about here, yes, right? Remember I said before, let's keep it really simple. If we get that, and then if we get this here, this pattern here at least gives me a high probability of seeing another leg to the upside. Does that make sense? Yes. I don't know how big, I don't know how far, I don't know how long, but it gives me a high probability of at least seeing another leg to the upside off that pattern. So when I see that pattern and it gives me a high probability of that happening, all I'm doing right now is I call it melt up or whatever, but because we're doing what? Because we've gone up and we've gone sideways through here with the moving average, all I'm saying is the pattern on the chart says we're likely to have another move to the upside. I don't know how long. I don't know how far. Is it going to be 8,500 or is it going to be 8,000, 7,500? Does that make sense? Yes, now? So now you understand the reason why I'm calling for more upside is because the pattern gives me a high probability of at least having another good strong leg to the upside off this when it's finished. And that's all it is. It's just it's the same pattern. And we're already starting to slowly break out now, which is quite awesome. I agree. Yes. John, you think equities and commodities will trend up at the same time? What do you think of AW1 commodity market? What is that? Let's go have a look. AW1. Exclamation point, is it? Life is amazing, guys. Life is amazing. It's going to be a good 2026, guys. It's going to be good 2026. One thing I do see with this one here, I believe this is the start of a nice, good bull phase for a while. That could last another 6 to 12 months. I call bull phase. Why? We've now gone down through here. Okay, so I'm seeing what's happening now. That's probably 50%, is it? Yep, thought so. 50% retracement. Okay, cool. Then we come back down to here. We actually had that as the resistance line through there. Then, so we had that through there. Then we have this through here. But what's been happening lately is we broke out to the upside and we came down, tested it. And we're starting to develop these higher lows in place, and then we're breaking out. So that tells me now, look, especially looking at the daily charts now. Man, I can't believe we've been on this long. What a live stream, eh? I didn't expect it to be this long, but anyway, happy New Year, guys. Happy New Year's. 3-hour live stream for the New Year's. And then I won't be doing much live streams next year, guys, by the way. I'm only doing this because towards the end of the year, and then next year I'll be back with my 1% group. I'm taking a bit of a break from my 1% group. I normally do that at the end of the year, so that's why I'm doing live stream now. This is sort of the stuff that I'm doing for my 1% group all the time. I'm doing my trading and all that sort of stuff, and we're looking at the trading setups, but all this stuff here I'm doing every single day with my 1% group. And now we're breaking up through here. So now there's a high probability, I would say, that we're now starting a bit of a bull phase through here. So I don't know the thing about equities and commodities moving together. I'm not sure about that. So that's what I see today. But yeah, you give me hope, John. Cravo. Where are you from, Cravo? I give you hope. Well, I hope I do. What you want to do is you just want to start to take some things I've been saying about how to actually have a good year next year, Cravo, right? I give you hope, yes, and I'm really grateful for that. But then take what I've been telling you about how to have a good year next year. The foundation is don't rely on your thoughts. Even if I think something and come up with an idea, it's never a good idea, right? But if I can come up with most of my trading being based off a pattern and a system that I use every single day, every single month, it's the same thing again and again. Now we're talking how we set ourselves up for having a good year. I love your honesty. Thank you. I've been trading even longer than you. I was teaching my last people properly 10 years ago. By now, people are so ungrateful and always looking for the quick fix. Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Well, Theo, the lost soul. That's the reason why my coaching business and what I've done and what I've offered as a coach and programs that I've offered over the years, it's now slowly dwindled down to just having a real small trading group. I do really well from trading myself throughout the year. But then I know people who join the 1% group, they're not looking for a quick fix. They're looking for some solid coaching advice over a good 6 to 12 month period to really give them a good insight, knowledge, and so on and so forth. So you're exactly right. And that's the reason why I do the 1% group, because you're with me for a 6 to 12 month period every single day. And I'm helping you have they're the people that really want to become successful in trading, not just like look for that. Oh, I'm looking for to make $1 million right now. It doesn't work like that. Trading, the market will smack you around something severe. You will lose all your money if you treat this with no respect and just have a big guess all the time. Because even for myself, even though I've been trading the markets for 20 years, I can think something. I can call that, oh, there's a top in gold or top in silver, or like there's an idea and opinion, right? But I cannot have a good year next year based off my thoughts. I'm going to be wrong most of the time, even myself. The only way for me to be able to do really well next year is most of my trades are based off the trading patterns. I have 3 main trading setups that I trade, And I just want to make sure at least 80% of the time I'm taking those. And then maybe 20% of the times I'll take a idea trade or a thinking trade or something else. Right. But as long as most of my trades are based off the pattern that I know it's going to work most of the time, I'm going to have a good year next year. And then the year after, and the year after, and the year after. I'll have your Master Trader Lab and we'll be going through it again. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, Master Trader Lab's awesome, man. Master Trader Lab is awesome. Now, Cravo, man, make sure you read that I've been giving away as well too. Like if you really want to know the insights to just the mindset and stuff like that free book, the X Factor book, again, you can get it for free. Make sure you read that. I promise you, when you read all of that once, there's going to be so many light bulb moments of maybe where you're thinking wrong and just, yeah, it's pretty deep. The indexes will go up sharply to cover the shorts on silver and metals in general. Yeah, again, you may be right there. You may be right. I'm not sure about like putting them together. I just know the stock market's likely to have another move to the upside because we're seeing that with the stock market. I'm not smart enough to say, well, it's going to go up because people are like all that because of, I don't know. I'm not that smart. And here's the beautiful thing, guys. I don't need to be. If I see my trading setup, sideways, strong moving average, that's 80% of what I need to know to find a really good trading setup. And if I can just stick to that, I'm looking to develop the proper habits behind trading and mainly the minute. Well, Tom, make sure you get my X Factor book, man. Again, it's free. Put your name and email address in, and I'll email it to you, and you'll get access to it, and you have access to it for life. And then read that book, man. I promise you. You want to learn the minute stuff and the habits behind it, and some really good deep size. Yeah. Plus, also the stuff I've been talking about today as well too. Man, I cannot believe we've been going for almost 3 hours today. This is awesome. 3-hour live stream, guys. Bit of a Happy New Year gift for you guys. Again, with my 1% club group, guys, that I have. Again, it's closed, so I'm not promoting it now. This is stuff that I do with them every single day, by the way. I'm normally with them for a couple of hours most days. Every day the market's open, I do my trading. I show them what's going on. And then I spend a good couple of hours with them doing exactly what I'm doing with you right now. Going over the charts and seeing what's going on. And hey, Top, you're still around, man. You are the man. You're still around. He's still around. I thought you left a long time ago. Like top going goodbye. It's recorded anyway, man. So I'm pretty sure give it 6 hours or something or whatever, however long times it takes Google to or YouTube to process it, but you can watch the whole thing back. So that's all good. All right, let's have a good look around all these markets here. Gold definitely stuck at that triangle pattern there. That resistance level there. This is silver as well. Dow Jones just a little bit of a pullback. S&P a little bit of a pullback. Little pullback. I tell you what, guys. Oh my goodness. Mark my words. Check this out. You want to see something really cool? Check this out. I'm going to zoom right in here. 3 months. Let's go 6 months worth of data. Check this out. If we had this resistance level through here, right? Had that resistance we're here right now. If we do continue to hold this level and we do something like this here, and we get something like that going on, and then we get a very strong breakout like that, let the games begin. Melt up, whatever you're going to call it. Because it's just holding here now. I just noticed that just then. Let's go to all charts again. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing from there. I'm looking at the, oh yeah, we'll do thanks. Thanks for your time. You're the best. Happy New Year. Hey, Tom, Happy New Year, mate. Damn, missed it. 50. I wish you a very happy New Year to you and your family and all the people here. Thank you for all your efforts. To the trading community, no one is perfect. Giggles. Look at this guy giving me a backhand compliment. It's like, nah, it's all good. So the big markets for me, guys, next year, what I see now anyway, the big markets for me, let me just bring on the line here. The first big market is going to be TMF. Overall, I see TMF being a really nice riser to the upside. BEA beautiful. So that's one market. I'm in it. That's what's for next year. I see that being a real big rise throughout next year. The energy sector, I've talked about this before, but the energy sector. So I'll bring this up to here and let me go down to, so I have the energy sector and even things like, let me bring this up to here, even things like the XOM stock. If we start to break above 130, there's a high probability we're now making our way up to around 200 and then possibly even up to around that 250, maybe even 300 level. So that's actually quite powerful from there. So if we do start to break out, let me just bring on this daily chart here. If we start to break above here, then we have possibly a really big move to the upside coming out of this XOM. So XOM is one of the main stocks I'm watching for because it could be a real big mover, not for a short term, for, come on now. Let's go back to monthly. Right. So yeah, so XOM is definitely one of those stocks, guys, I'm watching for a longer term trade. Longer term trade, meaning a normal trade for me is a few months. This one here could last 6 to 12 months worth of big move. And you can see I've already got my targets here. Once we break above 130, it's probably going to be game on. Now, a bull market, right, guys? Remember what a bull market is. This, if it's going to go to 200 and 230, it's going to go up for a few months and then have a couple of months of a pullback and up. Like that's, just be realistic about what your expectation is. And even the stock here, CVX. This stock here, CVX, is another stock that I'm watching for. Why? It's the pattern. Sideways, strong moving average. If we start to break above 190, 200, then CVX to me looks like it could possibly even get up to around maybe even the 400 level. So initially I could say 80 or so % rise to that first target, 290. Again, it may not. There's no guarantee to make a profit on these things. But these two individual stocks is what I'm seeing potentially having big moves next year. Especially what's been happening for the last 10 or so, 10, 15 years on these markets. Nothing. And now we're starting to break out. This is a big long-term monthly charts. So these are what's called longer-term big profit potential trades that could last 6, 12 months, maybe even longer. But once we do start to break out, so that one there. Barber is also one as well too that I've been having a good close eye on. With this pullback with Barber, we've actually been in a very big strong upward trend here. So to me, I reckon Barber's getting ready for possibly a nice good turnaround here soon. So they're the main ones I'm focusing on now. So the individual stocks, CVX, again, guys, there's no guarantees I'm making. I'm not even in these. They may not even confirm my entry signal. So I may not even get into these. I still need to wait for my confirmation. So I'm not in these right now. Hey, Hong Kong in the house. How good's that? Hong Kong. So that's that one there. Again, with the stock market, we talked about this before, obviously with the stock market itself. But now you see what I see. Now, when it comes to the overall stock market, the long-term monthly charts, these are the long-term monthly charts here. So to me, this move up, again, it's a guess, but this move up in the stock market, if we do break out and continue this leg up, then the projections on extensions is these levels through here, which is also at the top of this channel up here. So these are the long-term monthly charts on the S&P. So we could end up making a really nice move up to around about, what is that level up there? 9,000. First target is around that, what's that? 7,500 is that first target. And then if it does extend, it could even rally up to around the 9,000. And then maybe we get some sort of correction and we get something like that there. But if we do really start to get heated up over the next 6 months, then that 8,000 to 9,000 looks like it could be a nice good sweet spot before we see any big correction here. Hey, Ireland, Gavin, mate. Happy New Year from Ireland. Great year mentoring. Thanks, mate. No problem, man. No problem. No problem, my man. TT3 just removed his comment. Why? That's it. I'm booting you, TT3. I'm joking, by the way. I'm joking. So that's what I'm seeing there, guys. This is big picture analysis here, right? So not tomorrow or whatever, but if we do start to really get hit on the upside, here's some projections and targets we could start to look at. NASDAQ, this is the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ targets are, the first target is around, do I have it there as well? So NASDAQ 100 or yeah, and composite. So the composite, the big target looks like around 30,000 potentially. So around about that level anyway. Russell is just breaking out of its level now. So the Russell looks like first target around 300. And then potentially if it does really start to move, we could potentially even get up to around the 400 level. Somewhere around about there anyway. I think the Russell is likely to be like one of those markets. I think the Russell is going to be one of those markets that's going to outperform a lot of indices initially as well too, only because we've done nothing. Look at all this here, this whole sideways pattern here. This has done nothing for 5 years, and now we're starting to break out. So when we break out, we should go for a really, really nice move. Remember, monthly chart, guys, right? Monthly charts. I said it's on like donkey. Okay. Your old friend. I thought so, Gavin. Gavin, mate, I thought it was you when you said you're from Ireland. I'm like, you're part of the inner circle, right? You're part of my inner circle that I had. You're my friend. I was on the weekly coaching class a couple of years back. Fantastic experience. Fantastic, man. Fantastic, my man. Great to see you, Gavin, man. Great to see you. I thought I recognized you. I'm like, I swear that was Gavin from my inner circle. Awesome, mate. Awesome, mate. Well, I'm no longer doing the inner circle anymore, Gavin. So inner circle is no longer, I'm not doing this. I'm just doing the 1% club where you're basically with me every day. So I'm not doing the inner circle anymore. Inner Circle was just once a week, as you know, once a week support session. I'm not doing that anymore because I'm just focusing on the 1% Club, where you're with me every day for a couple of hours as we go through these markets together. So if you ever do reapply in the future, you know what that I'm no longer doing the once a week. It's now every day. And the group's much smaller as well too. The group is a lot smaller. So that's what I'm seeing there, guys. Now, when it comes to, let's look at the overall trajectory for gold and silver as well too, right? Trajectory. That word, right? So, silver, the overall pattern is maybe more upside and then a severe crash. Volatile moves. Gold, overall, if we're looking at gold here, this is basically the gold chart here. We've been in a very big bull market now for 2 years. We're getting very close towards the end of this bull market. Now, when I say that, I don't know if it's going to be, are we going to go to 5,000 first and then maybe slowly form a top or not? I don't know. But if we look at a bull market, a bull phase, typically these markets that last like this for 2 years, I believe we're getting very close to that last little maybe 20%, maybe even the 10% of this bull market that we've been in for 2 years. And then it's probably going to have a good, really, really good correction off that as well too. And this is the same for the mining sector as well too. Very big, strong move to the upside. And yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised to see this thing have a big move on the downside. Now, when I say that, I see massive moves coming out of these markets, guys. But if you're looking at a pattern, let me see. Did I draw this here? Let me see. We're going to bring on the GLD. For example, the GLD price. The GLD price, as an example, or even gold as an example, the overall pattern that I see, it may go to 5,000. Just say it went up to there. Then we get a really big correction. That may even come next year. Big correction, and all that correction will be is just a 50%, probably around 50% of this big bull phase through here, as you can see. Big bull market. Then we come back down around about 50% through there. It's just a nice, healthy correction in this bull phase. And then on the other side of that, that's when I see a 10,000 gold coming from there. So for investors, for you guys that are investing in gold long term, don't be surprised to see this coming over the next couple of years. But keep in mind on the big picture, if we go through a really good 20, 30% correction, which we're probably likely will over the next 1 to 2 years out of gold, and we start to see a really big drop out of it, don't be freaked out by that, because that's probably going to be that for that year. And then say that's through 2027 into 2028, probably 29, 30, 31 and onwards. That's when I see really, really big moves coming for gold from there. So anyway, guys, that is it for me today. I'm done and dusted. Happy New Year, everybody. 2026 is going to be an amazing year, guys. Firstly, make sure you have a plan. Secondly, at least go get access to that free book I'm giving away, guys. You're going to start to understand the psychology of these markets a bit more. And thirdly, make sure you take care of your health as well too, guys. All these markets and money is not worth you having heart attacks over and so on and so forth. So don't put on big risk at the time, guys. All right, guys, that's it for me today. I'm done and dusted. Have a great day, everybody.